Hello and welcome to the channel. Now in the past I've talked a lot about different pieces of kit, but there is no greater or more important piece of kit you can have than the mind. If you've taken a tactical course or follow some military influencers online, then there's a great chance that you've heard about having a tactical mindset. But what really is it and why should you adopt it? The tactical mindset at its core is all about awareness, but there is a lot more that goes into having a tactical mindset, such as training, concepts, and having an understanding of some of the driving factors beyond just being aware. So by the end of these videos, my goal is that you will have a general understanding on what a tactical mindset is and some concepts and ideas that go along with it. After we're done talking here in the studio, we're gonna head out to the range for part 2. And I'm gonna show you guys a shooting drill that you can do on your own that will help you in regards to tactical mindset. So hit that subscribe button if you like content like this, and with that, let's dive in. Tactical mindset is having the ability to maintain a level of awareness that prepares you for any situation that may or can happen. Now, when we join this mindset along with our training, the result is the ability to maintain that combat cool, just like Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore from Apocalypse Now.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Smells like victory.
And that allows us to make sound and smart decisions within our performance abilities. Now, when it comes to training for combat or conflict, many people get so fixated on improving performance at the range and in the gym. And this is so important. But what if I told you that all the shooting and working out in the world wouldn't and couldn't help you in a situation that you didn't expect? Now don't worry, we will talk about how important shooting and lifting is later on in the video, but to give you some perspective of what I'm talking about, it's like one of your buddies is hiding out and jumps out at you and scares the living shit out of you when you least expect it. Most of the time, we freeze up, unless you're a ninja. I'll kill you. Or you live in denial. This is where the level of awareness in the tactical mindset comes into play. You will be able to react accordingly to a situation within your skill level if you maintain the correct level of awareness. But which level should you be? There is a great model created by the late but great Marine officer Jeff Cooper called Cooper's Color Code. Now, this model does an amazing job of illustrating the possible levels of awareness by assigning each level a color and giving you a reference of where you should aim to stay. Now, the first level is white, and you never want to be here. This means you are completely unaware, oblivious to the world, and unprepared for threats. People in this color tend to argue a lot with strangers on the internet and want to defund the police, but are the first to call them over small things like a noise complaint.
Fuck you!
You must avoid this color at all costs. The next color is where you want to live. This will be your home, and that color is yellow. You are relaxed, yet aware that the world is not a friendly place. You still continue to do the things you love and enjoy your life, but at the end of the day, you're actively scanning for possible threats. You know life isn't perfect, and people are the reason we can't have nice things. Moving on down, we have orange. Now this means something has caught our attention. Maybe someone's acting a fool or appearing to have harmful intentions. A likely threat, as we can call it. You're thinking to yourself, now I might have to take action here. If we do need to act, we are now in the red color. It is game time. We are taking action, and this doesn't always mean shooting, so be smart with your moves. And there's one more color that's after red, and this is the black. This is essentially the breakdown of all mental and physical performance. You are virtually useless because you failed to achieve combat cool. And now you have officially turned yourself into Upham. And that guy. Now that we are aware of the different types of colors, we can actively make the choice to avoid the white, live in the yellow, and train to prevent the black. Let's stay ready so we don't have to get ready. You don't just wake up and magically have a tactical mindset. There are numerous factors that help us shape a mindset, such as genetics, experience, influence, all that jazz. Now, I'm not a qualified geneticist, but you don't need to be one to know that genetics play a role in human behavior. And just like our Navy sailors, don't worry, you were born that way.
There'll be seamen everywhere, come on the big cruise.
But that is something that is completely outside of our control. So let's focus in on a factor that is more in our control, such as environment. Environment to me falls under influence, and I am a big believer in that your environment contributes to your mindset. And from what I experienced serving in special operations, just justifies my belief in this. For example, during my time in the Ranger Regiment, we were all held to an elevated standard of performance compared to the rest of the conventional Army. Now, the majority of individuals that were successful within my unit shared some common traits. They were all aggressive, competitive, competent, and confident. Wow, that was a lot of words that sound alike. However, many of them did not arrive to the unit with those traits. But because of the environment of the 75th Ranger Regiment, forged from the necessities of combat, they began to adapt and shape that mindset with complementing traits that allowed them to go to work every single day and crush that standard. Something we used to do, and if you've heard anything about Ranger battalions, is that it could be quite stressful for new guys. When I was a private, I thought it was all just part of the culture and earning your way, but once I became a team leader, I started to realize there is actual benefits to introducing stress through setting expectations. Something we would do is set time hacks, and if you are a veteran, you are probably very familiar with this concept, and I apologize if I trigger any PTSD. Time hacks are essentially a given amount of time to complete a task, and if the time was not met, there would be, depending on the type of individual, physical or mentally draining consequences. Now, I know this sounds harsh, especially to civilians or people that have no idea how the military works, but the benefits that came from this were the ability to work well under pressure, because the individual had to remain in control while under the stress of potentially facing punishment. We were essentially creating in a controlled environment the combat cool I've mentioned numerous times. Now, I am not telling you to go out and start giving yourself time hacks and smoking yourself if you don't meet them. I am simply giving you some insight to my experiences. You are completely able to go to less extreme levels, like just setting standards for yourself in your own personal lives. For example, you tell yourself you want to start getting in shape, so you set a standard that you will walk for 20 minutes in the morning time. You end up missing one of your days, so you need to have consequences now. And your consequence is that you will walk 40 minutes the next day. It doesn't need to be super harmful or complicated to start shaping that mindset. So, take a tactical pause. Consider your own personal environment. Does it align with the mindset you want to adopt? Do you have standards? Do you have consequences if you don't meet those standards? And if not, reflect on the changes you would like to see happen. Formulate a plan and then execute. Preparedness is the final piece of the puzzle when it comes to tactical mindset. We talked a bit in the beginning about how important improving performance is, and now it is time to talk about it and give it the praise it deserves. Woo! 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 Say we are in a tactical mindset, and we're aware of everything that is going on around us, but something happens, and we have absolutely zero training or experiences that drive us to make a decision. Do you see the issue? As much as you and I would love to believe that in a certain situation, you will just become John Wick and save the day, It's most likely not gonna happen. I'm sorry to say. We don't rise to the occasion, we fall to our highest level of training. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman, author of On Killing, is the creator of one of my favorite analogies regarding society and the categories people fall into based on their level of preparedness. It is called the sheepdog mentality, and yes, it was an American Sniper for all my bro vets.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
It states that there are three types of people in the world. There is the sheep, who are unaware, unprepared, and naive. They do not want to cause harm, they have no capacity for violence, and believe that there is no threat to their existence or that there is evil in the world. Then we have the wolf, who has a great capacity for violence and no regard for their fellow sheep. They are defined as aggressive sociopaths and manipulative criminals who would do anything to achieve their own self-interest and their own goals. These wolves feed and prey on the sheep. Now finally, you have the sheepdog.
They are the sheepdog.
They possess an unyielding capacity for violence, yet have a strong love for their fellow oblivious acquaintances. They are always prepared and will protect the sheep from the wolves, regardless of their own personal safety. So which are you? And do you actually possess the skills and the knowledge to walk the walk? Obviously, there are a lot of people in this world that will be the first and the loudest ones to tell you that they are 100% sheepdogs. However, these people often spend more time boasting and bantering instead of actually practicing situational awareness and the skills that come along with it. In my experience, you would never be able to guess the ones who are truly and the most prepared. So with that being said, go to the gym, get yourself in shape, and no, I don't mean just get yoked, because that isn't being in shape. You also need to be able to run and ruck. Head to the range and practice using your firearms confidently and learn some tactics. Don't forget to get some medical training while you're at it. If you can cause a bleed, you should be able to stop one. And I know I personally need to work on this one, but find a good local combat sports gym and start learning how to hold your own in a close-up fight. You're not always going to be able to use a firearm. All of these things come together and create an excellent recipe for preparedness. And this recipe is simple, but it's not an easy one. So we talked a good amount about tactical mindset, how to shape it, and preparedness. But I know you guys are tired of listening to me talk. So before we go out to the range, do me a favor, like this video, share it with your friends who are the sheep or living their lives in the white. Comment down below what you thought about this video and what you would like to see in future videos on this channel. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go hit the range.